Well, hello there. I see I've got a couple of questions, comments or questions. Let's start. Well, Susan, hello, friend. I feel like you're a friend. We've been in communication for many years. I'm so happy that you and your team started my training today. Questions at this point. And, if it's day one, so I realize you may not. Had a little echo. I heard myself there. So Susan and team, again, welcome. Any questions I can answer for you, I'm excited to answer. All right, Rachel. This question from Rachel. Hi, Myra. I'm wondering if you have any experience with digital customer care, chat mainly, where the agents are servicing English customers, which is their second language. I do a lot of work, Rachel, in areas like that. Most of my clients are here in the U.S., but I have a large global audience that primarily their role is they are outside of the US, English is a second language, and they are communicating with American citizens. And I know that's hard. I have recommended for one of my major clients. It might even be a basic grammar course. But you know what? People who've spoken the language like all of our lives, we are going to mess some things up. Grammar, just basic. I'm not even talking a high level, not college level, but just basic, so that we're getting the language right. Because when a customer senses that you're not speaking English, some people may be a bit more challenging. They may want to talk to someone else, even if that is just chat. And another thing, and this is going to take a little more work and planning, if you could have design in your chat platform sentences that you could just drop in, where your agents understand the nature of the question and they already have a phrase or a sentence that they just click and drop in, that makes their lives so much easier. And that would be a higher recommendation than a basic grammar, so that rather than having to think it through, maybe there's a menu and I can just click. And there are platforms that do that. I am partnering with Balta software for a webinar we're doing in August, where the platform will give people hints, and those hints come in the form of phrases that you can just click and it goes right in the chat or email. So I would consider technology would be my highest recommendation there. Susan, and let me move that so it's not blocking my face. So far, we really like it, taking small bits at a time. Susan, a lot of my clients do exactly that. You have a year to complete De-escalation Academy. It is 75 minutes in total. That doesn't include all the work. You're getting in there, there are worksheets and activities that you do. Take your time though. And my advice would be to your employees, go back. So maybe in that year, let's say you complete the training in maybe a week. You can go back. Wow, so I heard a big rumble of thunder here, and it's the sun is shining. That's really interesting. I need to look out and make sure that was thunder and not something else. But yeah, go back as a refresher and use the courses and pull out your worksheets. Save the worksheets, go back and revisit them. That can be quite incredible for you. All right, so I'm happy that you're doing that. And the question is, I don't know if you can hear me. We cannot. When I do a live like this, whether I do it on Facebook or in my own classroom or here, I'm not able to hear you. That is a negative thing. It's all going to be via chat. So I know that's a little probably difficult. But yes, thank you. And while you all are looking at questions, I'm going to just take a look out. I thought that was thunder, but I don't know because the sun is shining and I don't think there's a chance of rain. So I'm going to step out and see what the heck is going on here. No, I don't know. That was 91 and hot. You never know. In the times we're living in, it could be anything. All right. And this is really casual. As you, some of you are here for the first time. I think Rachel, I might recognize you from your name from other lives. When I do office hours, it is like a professor doing office hours. I'm here, I'm available, and until I have questions, I am just sitting here working. So come as you need, leave as you need. We'll do these. We do these about once a month, sometimes a bit more. It just depends on my schedule. And I'll tell you, I'm traveling again, which is exciting. After 2 years of being grounded, it feels good to get out again. And so we've never had a consistent day for live Q&A because the priority would be the FaceTime with clients if I'm delivering a workshop, whether that's online or in person. So we schedule them and we let you know, but we don't have a consistent day for those. Well, all right, then I'm going to hang out until I have additional questions. Those of you who have shown up and asked questions, I'm so happy that you took time out of your day. And I'm here. I'm here until 11:30 Central Time, 12:30 Eastern Time. All right. Rachel, I'm going to read your comment. Great call outs. Thank you. I will look at Balta. And it may be, let me look up the name. I can't remember if it's Balta or Balto. I'll look that up and drop it in the chat. Do you have any specific recordings you would recommend to help agents handle multiple chats at the same time? You know, first of all, let me get you the correct name of the software company. I don't know that I have. I'm trying to think. No, I do not. I know my chat training focuses on how to give a personalized, friendly, empathic experience, not in the multitasking. And I know that's what agents do. That's something maybe I should even consider, actually. But I do not have that. And right now, I'm going to look up the name of that because I want to get it right. There's a wonderful client that I'm partnering with. Let's see if we can find that right now for you. Yeah. So it's Balto Software. I'm going to get the link. Balto Software. No good. I'm glad I was going to guess at the URL and I would have been wrong. Okay. I have that. I think I do. I'm trying to multitask, Rachel, perhaps like your agents here. Okay. Here's the link. All right, Rachel, I've dropped the link to the software company. And I would do a demo. They do like a 15-minute, I don't even know if it takes that long, but when I met the company and agreed to do a webinar, I wanted to know more about them. And so I did like a 10 or 12 live, 10 or 12 minute live demo. And the possibilities of what you can do are pretty impressive. So that if an agent is on the phone and or chat, you're specifically chat, and someone says, "Get me a manager," or the customer doesn't like what the agent has said. They don't want to accept their word or the bad news or the no. You can program the software to drop in hints, phrases, and tips that will help them. And in chat, I would envision it just drop it into the chat. And Balto, I'm wondering, because I work with so many, I wonder if that is the one over the phone. I know that if they don't have chat already, I know it's in the works, but I think that can help you. I really do, based on what I've seen in my work with them. All right. All right. I'll go back on mute until I get another comment. Again, casual and easy. We've got about 12 more minutes, so I will stay here the full duration of the office hours. All right, got another question. Any suggestions of how to dissuade a customer that always asks for one specific rep? We tell them any one of us can help, but sometimes they insist on waiting for someone specific. First of all, that's a compliment, perhaps to that the rep that they spoke with. They had a good rapport and they felt that person was knowledgeable. So that's a great thing. I've run a call center, so I know that I mean, logistically, that is very hard. That representative could be on another call or at lunch, or it just and the whole transfer of the thing. So yes, I like exactly what you said. So I want to come when you reply to that, you want to acknowledge what they've asked. You don't want it to sound like a negative. You know what? We love that you had a great experience with Angela, for example. The way our system is set up, it's a bit challenging to transfer a call. She may be at lunch, out of the office, whatever you want to say. You can maybe give two reasons why. The great news is any one of us can help you. So I would explain the challenge, and that might sound like the negative. We're really three steps. We love that you've had a great experience with Angela, if that's what they're going with. Sometimes it's just because they think, that person's going to remember. Not Angela's not going to remember. It's going to be in the system, and she will be able to see it. I love though that you had a great experience with her. Step one, two, the way we're set up, it is incredibly difficult to transfer to a specific person. They may be at lunch, on another call, break, etc. The great news, step three, is we take detailed notes, and anyone here can help. And you do that with a smile in your voice. I tried to put a smile on my face in that moment. You do that with concern. But so you first link the chain, and if you're in De-escalation Academy, you may not have gotten to it yet. I believe that's going to be module 4. You're going to learn about linking the chain, and that's what you're doing there by acknowledging. So I love that people want to speak to the same person. Get why you cannot do that. All right, Rachel, thanks. I'm finding that disorganization is a big influence on quality, that is, screen layout. It would be useful to see a flow of 3 chats and how it can be managed to avoid chats dropping. Disorganization, Rachel, you're right. And not just in chat, but just in the way we work. If we've got a lot of clutter, I mean, just like what I've got a lot on my screen now. In a workshop, it's different. This is office hours, and you never know if anyone's going to show up. But the disorder, if you could see my screen now, if I were doing a workshop, I could lose my focus. So you definitely need to have that, and that is all in the application. I think this is going back also to software for you. The application needs to be set up. Now, I'm a big believer in multiple screens. When I before the pandemic, one of the things that I would do, life before the pandemic, we're getting back to normal, is before a workshop or after, I would always like to tour the contact center. I love to see the environment in which customer service professionals work in, live in, sit in, and just to see, how it's set up. In the last probably 10 to 12 years, multiple screens, 2 or 3, is common. And it's a lot easier to organize and keep everything up. So that's the hardware, and you have to have the right application. The software side is not my expertise. I get a lot of companies reaching out to me, wanting me to demo, wanting me to learn more. That is not my area of expertise. But I would have someone, perhaps that's your IT team, perhaps that is you, doing research to find out how we can better organize. And maybe someone here, right on the chat, might tell you what their structure is. How do you keep everything organized? Because it is very easy to drop, miss things if you don't have a system of organization. For me, and I'm so big on that, I actually literally use a physical planner. I have a digital calendar like everybody else, and I've got everything in my phone as well. But I cannot miss a meeting. I don't want to miss a deadline. I don't want to miss the date I told someone I would get a project to them. So I invest in that, and we have to do the same thing for our people. So that is going to be the hardware, multiple monitors, and that is going to be the right application to help you manage. All right, I think I've got another question here. All right. So many companies, excuse me, use chat because it has many advantages, but productivity and quality can clash. So I know I would be incredibly interested for a guide. Okay, that I can adapt to suit my operation. And chat is a thing. I used to follow the stats quite closely. Probably in the last couple of years, that's fallen off. Things have changed with the pandemic. But chat was the fastest growing channel every time I would look at research. I remember when email was a huge deal. Of course, I remember the time when it was just phone and fax and postal mail. Chat is growing. That's what consumers like. It is growing. It's already big. We have to figure out how to grow with it, how to manage it. And bots are fine, but people want that live agent experience. And and I would say, even Rachel, make sure even before the chat, make sure your frequently asked questions section on your website, and that's probably even beyond what you're responsible for in the organization. But work as a team for the people who are with the people who are responsible. How can we proactively make the most of our knowledge base online and frequently asked questions? Make the most of any bots if you use that, so that you can proactively minimize the chat interactions. Chat is not going to go away no matter how good your frequently asked question section is. But if you can minimize some of them, and then in the meantime, get the applications that support your agents and organization and being able to copy and just drop and paste phrases where the system is intuitive. They don't even have to do all the thinking, where the system is reading the chat from the customer and then giving options for your employees to drop down. That is the way to go. I would not try to do this manually. I remember, now this is over 20 years ago, but when managing my first call center, when my agents in the beginning had to write emails, every single email to respond to a customer, that is a lot of work. One of the things I've done for my clients over the years is I would be the writer behind the system. So I would look at every issue category. So question, complaint, follow up. And then I would work with them to find out what they were trying to communicate. And I and my team would write the paragraphs. So we would write the standard opening paragraph, the standard closing paragraph. And that part was easy. It was the body, which is based on the issue. And we put all of that together. So I did the writing, and then that is dropped into a system where all agents have to do is, for this category, click, and you put it in, you proof it, to make sure it's a good fit, that it's relevant. but you want to do the work. Now, when I write for a company, the last company I did that for, I mean, we're talking probably a 6 to 9 month project, right? Because you got to be crystal clear of what you are communicating, because agents will just drop it in. But that 6 to 9 month investment behind the scene makes life so much easier for the people on the front line. So it's going to be a lot of pre work, but you can do it. I would do it, and you can do that. All right. Cameron says multiple screens work wonders for my team. Thank you for sharing that. It is. I remember the day when it was standard to have one, and you rarely see that now. At least the contact centers I partner with. I know my husband, when he works from home, he works in an office, but he'll do a lot of work on a Sunday afternoon, for example. And the biggest frustration working from home is, he said, I'm used to 3 screens, right? It's hard to even adapt to a single screen if you're used to multiple. Those of you who are using multiple, are you using 2, 3, or more? Maybe you can just let us know, and we can help Karen and her team out. We can help each other here. Susan says, we use HubSpot, and each chat can have an owner, so we can see if a chat is lacking an owner and someone jumps in to grab it. Karen, I hope you, Rachel, excuse me, I hope you're still here and you get that. So look up HubSpot, and that way a chat is not going to get dropped with a system like that. And HubSpot is one of many, but you don't want to drop it. Kind of like your emails. I don't know about you, but I obsess over not missing an email. I have a system that I use that plugs into my email, where if I spot an email, like I did the first few minutes of this live Q&A, no one was here. Then someone asked a question, I think it was Susan. So I can hit boomerang, and that it literally is a boomerang, and I boomeranged it to come back in 2 hours, so that I didn't stop and forget it, because I don't want it to be just open and I forget. Chat, you can have software to help you out, like Boomerang helps me. All right. Hi, Myra. I was hoping you can help to come up with the idea of how to answer the customer when they don't want to accept apologies, solutions, and constantly leave low ratings to the chat. When people don't, so they don't want your help. They don't like what you're saying, and so what you want to do is change the approach. And this will be the last question I'll be able to take. I have to go into a workshop, a little break, and then a workshop. They don't like what you're saying. So we need to have the right approach. So if you're telling them no, or you're delivering them bad news, we've got to do that in the right way. I have a full course called Delivering Bad News to Customers in my masterclass. And in that, I give 4 keys to how to deliver bad news. And I'll just give you a little heads up. You have to start with linking the communication chain. Those of you in my De-escalation Academy will recognize that. What means I have to acknowledge your concern. I've got to have that empathy. I've got to show you that I get it. I feel your pain. You have to be clear when you give the bad news. You need to, when possible, offer options, and then manage expectations. You have to have the right tone. So the right tone and flow. When people are not accepting your word or the word of your employees, they don't like the approach. So you need to add empathy. You need to add friendliness. You need to make sure you're validating their concerns. And so check out my 4 keys to delivering bad news. I know I've got snippets. One of my most popular videos on this channel is delivering bad news. And I walk through the story of how I came to teach that. It's one of my videos that's in black and white. In fact, I'm going to find that video as the last thing I do in here, and just put a link to it, because I think I should be able to locate that. I don't know, I've got so many. Can I search? I think I can search delivering bad news. And then I'll put that in the chat, and that may help. Yeah, so this video is like 5 years ago. And the content, though, is still quite relevant. So let me grab that link, put it in our chat, and that approach may add value. So when people don't like, when they resist it, it's the approach that we need to change. Well, all right, we are at time. Thank you so much for joining me for office hours. I look forward to the next time. And if you're on my list or one of my students, you will get that announcement. All right, everybody, go out and make it a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye bye.